What's up, everybody? My name is Blaze Tiger, back with another video. And today I wanted to talk about Genshin Impact and an occurring problem that everyone is having with the game. What? They're saying berries, but there's nothing there. Anyway, a current problem everyone's having with the game. And that problem is resin, right? What the heck? That problem is resin. Just like every typical gacha game or most typical gacha game, there's a stamina system. Some games do their stamina system some real good justice to allow the players to actually continue to play. This game now is a has game elements to it, but all in all is an RPG game, right? You can explore the world, do puzzles, fight bosses, fight minions. Well, I guess we can call them minions around the map. Collect gear, weapons, so forth and so on, right? The game is not an easy game, which is good. You don't, no one wants to just play a gotcha game or a game where it's just so easy for you to just have a super strong character. That's not really a fun game, and that game won't last too long if it's just so easy and everything is so accessible, right? But you have to make sense out of the game. Once you get past, like, I don't know, AR 25, it takes a lot to increase your AR rank, which is fine. It keeps you playing the game every day for hours on end, which I do every day, especially when I have the time at home to actually do it. Because I play other games for content. I do other videos. Um, but when I do have the time, I'm playing this game all day. If you look, I'm on AR 34. I'm about to hit 35, and that was my goal to get to 35, raise my world level to 4, and start farming the bosses around the map for gladiator pieces. We'll go over the pieces at a later time. But if I said in my other video, if the game is going to make it hard for you to get drops, to get pieces like the gladiator pieces, because the gladiator pieces you can only really get them from the bosses around the map, right? But they're not always guaranteed to drop. The higher you raise your world level, the higher chances you have of getting the specific drop that you want or the specific tier, because the bosses, once you get to world level 3, 4 and up, you always get guaranteed a 4-star gear all the time. But once you get to 5 and up, you will start seeing you get these higher chances to get level 5 gear, the legendary gear, which is the gear you really want to aim for. I'm trying to aim for legendary gear for gladiator pieces, so that right there makes me want to keep playing the game more to increase my AR level. So basically what I said in my previous video, if it's going to be hard to grind these artifacts, grind the materials you need to increase your talent level, increase your to ascend your character so you can continue leveling them up, to ascend your weapon so you can continue leveling up. If all of that is going to require you to grind and grind and grind for hours, which again is fine, then it should be easier for you to level up your characters. You know what I'm saying? So they came up with this crucible, the elemental crucible, which nets you a whole ton of the books to level up your characters. So they're trying to help players out when it comes to leveling up your characters, because leveling up your characters should not be as hard or complicated or take you as long as it takes to increase your AR level, which technically it doesn't take you as long as it takes to increase your AR level, but still, a lot of people have been saying they've been running low on books. And then you get absolutely no type of XP from fighting the enemies around the map. So that is something I think they should change. But again, that's not really the point of this video, and that's not really a big deal, honestly. The resin is the big deal. They dropped this elemental crucible, which is very fun, by the way. You get to meet a lot of new people. You guys get to communicate and do a lot of these things together and get some exciting rewards. But it's 40 resin. So you only get 120. Uh, um, resin per day, right? And it takes 8 minutes to recover one resin. That is insane. So you can only do it so many times. Like the world bosses are what, 40, right? So you can only attack a world boss 3 times a day. So you can only do the elemental crucible 3 times, and that's it. I mean, you can continue doing it if you want, but you won't be able. Well, actually, yeah, actually, you can continue doing it if you want, but you won't be able to get the rewards for completing the stage with your friends or with the people that you play with. You'll just be there helping them get get better stuff, get the books and all that other stuff. I mean, you can still um you can still do the missions in your book in your battle pass, which will help you get rewards, but you want to get the full blunt of the event. Now, if they would have my suggestion for the resin, right? I don't think they should take it away. What I think they should do is each boss on the level, they should limit it. You should be able to tackle the boss at least 4 times per day, right? So all these bosses here, not these, obviously not these. You guys know which ones I'm talking about. These one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this not these, but this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and then the wolf and storm terror. You should be able, well, actually, scratch the wolf and scratch storm terror. We'll talk about them in a minute. But the other ones, you should be able to tackle. What in the world? I'm stuck. You should be able to tackle them 4 times in the day, right? So once you've tackled them 4 times, then they go on cooldown. So you can't tackle them until reset, which I think at my time it's like 4 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning. With Storm Terror, the way they do Storm Terror, right? Now, I don't know if they do the same thing with the Wolf because I fought the Wolf one time and I beat him and I never went back. But with Storm Terror, you can only receive the rewards from the Storm Terror once per week, which is cool. It's fine, right? But the problem with that is 60 resin. That's half your resin. So, you do that, then you can't really do much after that. So with Storm Terror, the way they do it is cool. If the wolf is the same way, that's fine. But every other boss should be four. The limit to tackle them per day is four, right? And then you have these dungeons right here. The most important ones are the ones that you can receive the gears, right? So these gears right here to ascend your weapons. And then on Sunday, you can tackle it and you can get all of them at once, right? So you got these ones right here, and they cost 20 resin to tackle. These ones I don't believe cost any resin. I don't think so. Actually, yes, they do. Yeah, they do. All of these cost resin, right? These dungeons should also be you should be able to tackle them 4 times a day. So here's why I'm saying that. So if you tackle them 4 times a day, right, they go on cooldown. Here's where the resin comes into play. You should be able to recharge them using resin. So if you want to get two more goes at it, you use 20 resin. If you want to get an extra grow at it, you use 40 resin. So for 340, we can change up the math or however they do it, but I think they should increase the if you want to get a full four, let's just say you use 40 resin, right? And that will give you a whole four. It will recharge the dungeon or recharge the boss, and you're able to tackle them 4 times again, right? So that way, they're still keeping the resin in the game, but they're changing the way it works. Or they can do it where you can use 10 resin to restore one goal at each boss or at each dungeon. I think if they did it like that, everyone will be happy because you have 4 times to tackle this. no resin, right? Because when you go to these dungeons here, you need these books to increase your talents. But once you've used up all your resin, it's like you're just sitting there going around the world just doing other things, which there is still a lot of things to do. But these are the most important things for you after you've beaten the story, right? You want to get these books, you want to increase the characters that you have. When you go here, when you tackle this one, you get these two books right here. You'll get three of these, two of these. That's not enough. It costs about four of just this. Oh crap, I didn't mean to fast travel. It costs four of just that book right there to increase your talent level once. But you need it about you need like what 16 or 20. I can't remember how much you need per se for each character when you're increasing their talent. But I believe it's four to start off with, I think, um, to increase the talent level. But you can't really do, and then you have all these characters. I'm pretty sure everyone's summoned because they at this point everyone had received a lot of free primo gems, right? So I know a lot of people went in and summoned. But as the game goes on, there are going to be more and more characters, and it's going to become overwhelming for people to see to all of these characters if they're unable to tackle the dungeons or the bosses that they need to tackle to get the resources that they need. So they can do it like that, or just increase the resin. Now I know the game just came out, so I'm not making it a big deal. I'm not downing the game. The game is still a 10 out of 10 for me, and that's the only real issue I have with the game. And I think that's the only real issue a lot of people still have with the game is the resin. But if they want this game to last and to really be a game changer and to have people really keep playing it, then they're going to have to change the resin. So you can either do it like that, where each world boss in the dungeon has a limit of four per day, and then you can recharge them using resin, either using 10, 20, or however they want to do it, or increase the resin bar from each by by how much AR level or by your AR level. So actually, what they can do is increase the resin by your AR level and still have the limit of four per boss and dungeon. That will keep the players playing. I'm telling you, it will. They will satisfy everybody else. It will satisfy everyone. Everyone will be happy, and people will play more. I mean, people are still playing a lot as is, but you don't want to keep dropping content and just keep your resin at 120 and then people can't play after three times after doing it three times. There's a lot to do in this game, and going forward I can see that there's going to be, they're going to have a new map, and with the new map they're going to drop a whole tons of different dungeons, different bosses to fight. It's going to be a lot to do. So if you're going to continue adding more bosses, more characters, more dungeons, more maps, and so forth and so on, but you keep the resin at 120, people are going to start getting irritated because they're not going to be able to do what they need to do. It's taking me for I have, hold on. So I have, let's see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 14 characters, right? Out of the 14 characters, I have about, hold on, four characters that's level 60. That wasn't easy. Okay. Um, Trying to get all the materials wasn't easy, but that's part of the game. That's understandable, right? But these characters all need like things like this. I go fight this guy. Sometimes he may, well, at this point, the AR level, the
I
world level that I'm
wonder when
at,
I'll
he
be as
normally
tall
drops
as
about
my big.
two per run, I believe. But I have other characters like Mona that needs that same thing. She needs eight. You know what I'm saying? So once I use the ones on her, then I have to go back and try and farm them. But I done used up all my resin. Now I gotta wait till what's that, 16 hours, I want to say, about 16 hours for it to recharge fully. And then you only get resin when you level up through your AR. When you go back to the Adventure Guild, that's the way you get resin to recharge your resin bar is when that's the only other way you can't buy it or anything like that. But resin should be accessible, more accessible for all players because if they want to push this free to play friendly type game, then they need to have it where the resin is more accessible to all the players because they will soon see people complaining more and more about that resin if they don't change it. I mean, again, that's my only issue. And I know the game's only been out for about 2 weeks, and I hope they will see to it and actually work it out. I know the resin wasn't in the version point 1.1 notes, about them getting to it and looking at it and trying to fix it, but I'm pretty sure I'm hoping that if enough people complain more about it. I won't even complain. Just state the obvious that hey, you have a good game, but the resin is kind of killing us here. I mean, you make this game very grindy it's it's hard enough to power up one character as is, because you need the right gear, you need the right weapon, all types of stuff. Like my Mona, I finally was able to get her to a point where I'm really satisfied with her. With her attack stat, defense stat, elemental stat, max. Well, the stamina is different, but I finally got her to a point where I'm happy with her stats. I have the artifact, I got Wanderer's Troop, and then Exile, so I'm pretty good. And I finally got my first legendary piece, and I got that from fighting Storm Terror. Um, so yeah, that's good. And I'm about to be AR 34, which will increase my world rank to 4, and I'll have higher chances of getting better gear. But I am limited to what I can do because of the resin. Now with this elemental crucible, right? You have to use 40 resin to play in the elemental crucible. But then you like, okay, how many? When do I cut it out? When do I cut it off? Because I still have to go farm the world bosses. So you see the dilemma. You're going to keep bringing out more content that costs resin, and then it's going to get to the point like, what should I use my resin for today? What should I not use my resin for today? I need this, but I also need this. But then I only have 120 resin. How is that going to work? So then people are going to start getting frustrated. So I really think they should implement the limit of 4 per dungeon, resource dungeon, and boss, and then use the resin to recharge the boss and the dungeon. I really think they should do that, and then also increase the limit to the resin. They can give us an extra 120, 200, 240, 240 resin. That's fine. If they want to just cap it out at 240, that is completely fine with me. You have 240 resin per day, and change that 8 minute thing. That's ridiculous. 8 minutes for one. Dude, I literally left. I got up like around 8 something with my kid today to do the virtual learning. And while he was doing the virtual learning, I was playing some Elemental Crucible. And I think I stopped playing Grand Cross, not Grand Cross, Genshin around, I don't know, like 1 o'clock. And I only have about, my resin just reached when I got home, because I left, I came back. And when I turned on the game for the first time, my resin was at 103. It's at 105 now. So it's really frustrating. So that's basically my thoughts on the change that they should implement in the game. If you guys agree, or if you guys have your own type of solution for it, let me know in the comments. Hit me up and let me know. But I really feel like if they did the 4 times per dungeon and boss per day and use the resin to recharge the dungeons that you really need to tackle at that moment or bosses that you really need to tackle at that moment, I think everyone would be a little bit more satisfied with that. I honestly feel that there'll be more people will be more satisfied. So if you'll be more satisfied with that, let me know. But that's it for the video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please go ahead, drop a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to know I upload my next video. I really appreciate it. And you guys have a good one.